Okay, get ready to dive deep today because we're looking at how AI is changing business.
Right now.
Exactly, not in some far-off future. We're talking about companies using it, like right now, to make more money and keep their customers happy. You sent me some really interesting stuff, especially an HCO blog post
Oh, yeah.
and this PDF AI hacks for growth. We're going to pull out the good stuff.
The most valuable nuggets.
Yeah, so you come away not just, knowing stuff, but really understanding how you could use this stuff.
Aha moments.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny you should say dive deep.
Oh.
Because the amount of AI adoption in business,
It's huge.
it's growing so fast. That HCode post, it mentions a McKinsey survey, and they found 65% of organizations are already using generative AI.
Wow.
Which, just to put that into perspective, that number has doubled in under a year.
That's crazy. That just shows how AI isn't some niche thing anymore.
It's mainstream.
Totally. It's like everyone jumped in the pool at the same time.
Yeah, and it's not just hype, there are real results. Companies are actually solving real problems with AI.
Like in customer service, for example. The HCO blog was talking about AI chatbots
Yeah.
and how they can provide 24/7 support
Always available.
and always give consistent answers.
No matter what.
It's like having a whole team of customer service reps who never sleep.
That's a good way to put it. But the real value goes way beyond just being available all the time. Think about it. The chatbots are handling all the basic stuff.
Like the FAQs.
Yeah, so the human agents can focus on the really complicated issues, the stuff that actually needs a human.
So you have happier customers and a more efficient team.
Exactly, everyone wins.
So it's not about replacing people, it's about helping them work better.
Exactly. Plus, the chatbots themselves are getting really advanced.
Really?
They use natural language processing.
NLP.
Right, so they actually understand what the customer is saying, not just matching keywords.
Wow.
The AI Hacks PDF goes into this. They actually analyze the customer's intent and their sentiment
So the chatbot can adapt.
and have a real conversation, not just give some canned response.
Okay, that makes sense.
Think about ChatGPT, you've probably used it.
Yeah.
It uses a large language model, an LLM. And these LLMs are being used in all sorts of business applications, including these chatbots.
So it's like having a mini chat GPT right there on your website,
Exactly.
but always available to help your customers.
24/7.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And this whole prediction thing goes way beyond customer service.
Oh yeah. Predictive analytics is huge right now. Imagine knowing what your customer wants before they even know it.
That's like magic.
Well, both sources talk about machine learning for this, for predictive analytics. It uses all this historical data.
Like previous sales and things like that.
Yeah, it feeds it all into these algorithms, these really powerful algorithms, and they build a model that can predict the future.
Wow. So you're making decisions based on data, not just guessing.
Exactly, and it's way more accurate.
That seems super valuable.
Imagine a retailer like a clothing store, and they can predict what's going to be popular next season.
So they can stock up in advance.
Yeah, so they never run out.
That would save them so much money.
The AI Hacks PDF actually mentions how some companies are predicting when equipment's going to fail.
Like before it actually breaks.
Exactly, so they can fix it before it causes any downtime.
That's amazing.
It's all about being proactive.
I love it. This predicting the future stuff is pretty cool. And it's not just for operations, is it?
Not at all.
What about marketing?
Well, AI is changing marketing big time, taking it from these mass mailings to highly personalized campaigns.
So it's kind of like that crystal ball, but for your customers.
Exactly. Machine learning can analyze tons of customer data,
Like their purchase history,
browsing data, everything.
so you know what they want.
And you can make recommendations based on that data.
Wow, that's like something out of Minority Report.
Haha. Maybe not that extreme. But the AI Hacks PDF talks about AI-driven segmentation.
What's that?
Basically, it's grouping your audience into super specific categories.
Like people who only buy organic food.
Yeah, or people who only buy certain brands. So instead of sending the same email to everyone, you can tailor it to each group.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's much more effective, and your customers feel like you actually understand them.
So you're not wasting money on marketing that no one will see.
Exactly. It's about being smarter with your resources.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of specific examples, but what about the bigger picture? The Deloitte article you sent mentioned something called the AI ecosystem. ecosystem.
Oh, yeah.
What is that exactly?
Well, think about all the tools businesses are using to make AI work.
The platforms, the data.
Even the people and the partners they need to make it happen. And even the regulations that are coming out around AI.
So it's more than just buying a piece of software.
It's a whole new way of thinking about your business.
And it sounds like it's constantly changing.
Absolutely. It's a complex and ever-evolving landscape.
So how do companies navigate all of that?
The smart companies are thinking strategically.
Okay.
They're not just looking at individual uses for AI.
They're looking at the big picture.
Exactly. They're making AI part of their overall business strategy.
And it sounds like they're not afraid to ask for help.
Well, they need partners to fill the talent gaps.
Yeah.
And they're using a lot of different tools, including those productivity apps that have built-in AI.
So they're building their own custom AI toolkit, basically.
Exactly. And that's a really smart approach.
I like it.
Yeah. And it's kind of like how businesses approached the internet way back when.
In the early days.
Yeah, it wasn't just about having a website. It was about how the internet could change the entire business.
So we're seeing that with AI now.
Exactly.
It's not just one department or one project.
It's a whole new way of working.
It really feels like we're at the very beginning of this whole AI revolution.
Oh, yeah.
What we're seeing now is just the tip of the iceberg.
Absolutely. The pace of innovation is crazy. Like, remember those large language models, those LLMs we were talking about?
Uh-huh.
They're making huge progress in generative AI.
Generative AI, what's that?
It's AI that can create new content.
Really?
Like text, images, even music or code.
So it doesn't just analyze data, it makes new stuff.
Exactly.
That's pretty wild. What does that mean for businesses?
Well, imagine AI writing marketing copy that's perfectly tailored to each customer.
Wow.
Or designing products that are optimized for manufacturing.
So things that we always thought needed humans.
AI can do it now.
No way. Is that actually happening already?
It is. There are AI tools that can write ads, generate product images, even compose music.
So it's not replacing human creativity.
It's more like giving them superpowers.
So they can focus on strategy and big ideas.
Exactly.
Speaking of big ideas, the H-Code blog mentioned how AI is changing sales and lead generation.
Oh yeah, those have always been super human-centric.
But now AI is getting involved.
It's all about precision and efficiency.
Wait, so instead of those cold calls,
You're targeting exactly the right people.
so how does that work?
AI can analyze all sorts of data.
What?
Demographics, purchase history, online behavior, even social media activity.
Wow, so it knows everything.
And it can use that data to predict which leads are most likely to buy.
So it's like a matchmaker for your sales team.
Haha, exactly.
So no more chasing after dead-end leads.
Your team can focus on the ones who are actually interested.
That's genius.
And it goes way beyond just finding leads. AI can help personalize your outreach, figure out the best time to contact them, everything.
So it's making the whole sales process smarter.
And more effective.
So everyone wins again.
The business gets more sales, the team is more productive, and the customer has a better experience.
That's the dream.
It really is. It shows what AI can do when it's used the right way.
Okay, but now for the big question. What about jobs?
What about them?
We're talking about AI that can do all this stuff. What happens to the people?
It's a valid concern. A lot of people are worried about AI taking their jobs.
Right.
But it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Okay.
It's not going to replace human intelligence or creativity.
So it's not AI versus humans.
It's AI and humans working together.
Okay, I like that.
The businesses that will succeed are the ones who figure out how to empower their people with AI.
So use AI to help people, not replace them.
Exactly. AI can handle the boring, repetitive tasks.
And humans can focus on the creative stuff, the strategic stuff.
Yeah, the stuff that machines just can't do.
Like building relationships, solving problems, things like that.
Exactly. And honestly, as AI evolves, I think we're going to see brand new jobs that we haven't even thought of yet.
Wow, that's kind of exciting.
It is. But the key is to be adaptable and learn new skills.
Be ready for anything.
Exactly.
So what's your advice for our listeners who are a little freaked out about AI?
I'd say embrace it.
How?
Learn about it, play around with some of the tools, see how it can make your work better.
So be curious and don't be afraid to try new things.
Exactly, because AI is a journey, not a destination.
We're all learning together.
That's the spirit.
This has been so insightful. We've covered a lot of ground, from those practical examples to the future of work,
And the importance of data.
right? We talked about how AI needs good data to actually work.
Yeah, data is like the fuel.
So it's not enough to just have the AI?
You need the right data to power it.
So the companies that are winning with AI,
They've invested in their data.
what do you mean?
They have really solid data infrastructures.
Okay.
They're focused on data quality, making sure it's accurate and consistent.
So no garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly, and they have policies in place to make sure data is being used ethically.
So data management is a key part of all of this,
Absolutely. It's not just about the quantity of data, it's about quality.
like making sure it's accurate and complete.
Yeah, and consistent across different systems. And then there's data representativeness.
With that,
Is the data you're using actually a good reflection of what you're trying to model?
like if you're trying to predict customer behavior, you need data that represents your actual customers.
Exactly. If the data's biased, your AI is going to be biased too.
That makes sense.
So you have to be really careful about the data you're using.
It sounds like data management is a pretty important skill set these days.
Oh yeah, the demand for data scientists and data engineers is going way up.
This has been such a fascinating look at AI in business.
I agree.
We've learned so much about the opportunities.
And the challenges.
But before we wrap up, what's the one thing you wish more business leaders understood about AI?
It's a good question. I think it's that AI isn't a magic bullet.
So it's not just plug and play.
No, it takes careful planning and ongoing work.
You need to really think about how AI fits into your business.
And you need to make data-driven decisions.
So AI is not just about the tech, it's about the people and the processes too.
Exactly. It's about a holistic approach.
This has been an incredible journey.
It really has.
I feel like we've gotten a much deeper understanding of AI,
The good and the bad.
but I want to remind everyone that this is just the beginning. Things are moving so fast.
We're going to see even more amazing stuff in the next few years.
So stay curious, keep learning,
And be open to new possibilities.
because the future of AI is bright.
As long as we use it wisely.
That's a great point, but we'll have to save that conversation for another day. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We're back for the last part of our deep dive, and I gotta say, this has been a wild ride.
Yeah.
But before we call it a day, there's one more thing we gotta talk about. We've been focusing on all the amazing things AI can do.
Right.
But you know what they say, with great power comes.
Great responsibility.
Exactly. We can't just chase profits and forget about the bigger picture.
Yeah, we have to use AI ethically.
So what does that actually look like in practice?
Oh, we got to be careful about the data we use.
Because if the data is biased, the AI will be biased too.
Exactly.
And that could lead to some really bad outcomes.
Like in hiring, for example.
Or loan applications.
Even healthcare.
It's scary to think that an AI could deny someone a job or a loan because of their race or gender.
And it's not just about the data itself. We need to think about transparency and accountability.
What do you mean?
Well, as AI systems get more complex, it can be hard to understand how they're making decisions.
It's like a black box.
Exactly.
Data goes in, decisions come out, but we don't know what happens in the middle.
And that can be a problem, especially when those decisions have real-world consequences.
So who's responsible when an AI messes up?
That's a tough question. Is it the developers? The company using the AI?
Or is it the AI itself?
These are questions we need to figure out as a society.
It's not just a tech problem, it's an ethical problem.
And we need to start thinking about it now, before it's too late.
So for our listeners who want to use AI responsibly, where do they start?
I think awareness is key.
Okay.
Learn about the potential risks of AI, the biases that can creep in.
Yeah, a lot of resources out there.
Yeah, organizations focused on AI ethics.
And when you're thinking about using AI in your business,
Ask the tough questions.
like what data is this AI trained on?
Is it representative? Is it biased?
How does the AI actually make decisions?
And who's accountable if something goes wrong?
So don't just assume the AI knows best.
You need to be critical and think it through.
And this isn't a one-time thing.
It's an ongoing process.
You need to keep monitoring the AI, making sure it's still working ethically.
And adapt as needed.
So it's about building a culture of responsibility.
Making sure everyone understands the importance of ethical AI.
I love that.
And I think the companies that get this right, the ones that prioritize ethics, they'll be the ones that succeed in the long run.
It's about building trust.
With your customers, with your employees, with society as a whole.
This has been an amazing journey.
It really has.
We've learned so much about the power of AI.
And the responsibility that comes with it.
So to our listeners, stay curious, stay engaged,
And stay informed.
because the future of AI is in our hands.
Let's make it a future we can all be proud of.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and business. Until next time.